The stock market is on a winning streak and has been for a few weeks now. Let's bring in Dan Deming at KKM Financial. Dan, what do you think, especially after we had that slew of inflation information, as you like to call it, with CPI and PPI coming in lower than expected?
I think it's a positive for the market. The perception is a positive because the market's been waiting for several months to see a break in the inflation front, and not necessarily that we're going to see it come down hard anytime soon, but just at least a shift in the general trends, which were quite substantial leading through the first 6 months of this year. So I think, Angie, that's from a sentiment standpoint, it's a positive. Now, we did get consumer sentiment last week as well, and that upticked as accordingly. So really across the board, some pretty positive data points. We did see the market react strongly, now pushing up towards those May levels. So we're seeing a multi-month highs in most of the major averages.
Dan, I know a lot of people who are in the market right now are watching the S&P 4200. It is holding strong. What are your thoughts?
The NASDAQ is strong, Angie. And actually, when you look at the small caps from a relative strength standpoint, they're actually even performing better than some of the other major averages. So you're seeing a tailwind coming back into the market with the relief as far as the inflation front. Consumer appears to be holding in there. This week, I'm going to be watching retail sales very closely to see if how strong the consumer is. But the general trends in place right now, even in the interest rate environment, coupled with the sentiment in the market, and really overall the earnings announcements were pretty positive too, Angie, have led to this nice rebound.
Do you think that the NASDAQ will remain out of bear market territory?
I think that we will. Personally, yes, I do. And that's not really any change from what you and I have been talking about for the last month and a half as we were really hitting those June lows. So I do feel like the trends are in place that we're going to continue to see some upside momentum overall. We could see some moderation. It wouldn't be surprising to see the markets give up a little ground here. They've come a long way in a very short period. But overall, it feels to me like we're kind of moving through this cycle and we're seeing this kind of uptrend that traditionally happens in the second half of a mid-election year as we're coming into this fall. So historically, the markets have performed very well in the fourth quarter after a midterm election.
Some glimmers of hope. Thank you so much, Dan. Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.